Hi folks, and welcome to another topical deep dive here on the Cord Cutters News channel. And this week we've got a fun one to discuss. So instead of highlighting a specific service or reviewing a new piece of streaming hardware, this video is all about money, more specifically saving you money. It's a team effort this week, so I reached out to my colleagues over on our news website, cordcuttersnews.com, and we gathered our favorite tips and tricks for saving money on streaming your favorite shows and movies. If cutting the cord has gotten a bit pricey in your household, we hope some of these suggestions help. These are our favorite ways to save money on streaming. Cutting what you don't need. Okay, first off, some of these tips might sound pretty obvious, and some of you might already be implementing some of these on your own. And if so, wonderful. But even with the most basic of tips, sometimes it just takes a little reminder or a little nudge to turn that suggestion into actual action. So let's start with cutting what you don't need. And this one is pretty basic, but maybe every 6 months or every year, sit down and list out all the streaming services and platforms you currently subscribe to. As you might know, many of us are signed up for more than one of those services, and those costs add up. So every once in a while, it might be useful to take stock of what you're paying for to see if you're paying for services you don't actually need. If money is a concern and you can live without a given service's library, maybe cut them out of your streaming arsenal. And hey, maybe you come back in a few months or a year to take inventory again and realize that you want that service back. Many services make it pretty easy to sign right back up. And by then, you may have saved yourself a considerable amount by pausing your subscription for a bit. And once you've decided which services to cut and which ones to keep, let's talk about maximizing the value of those services as much as possible. Making the most of your current subscriptions. Okay, so you've determined which services you still want to pay for, but there are often plenty of ways to save money within a given streaming service, like say picking the right pricing tier. Many services offer more than one pricing tier, and if that applies in your case, take a look at the level you're currently signed up for and see what it offers versus cheaper levels. If the perks of that more expensive plan aren't worth it, you can probably save several dollars per month by downgrading to a lower tier. And I can give you a personal example. Very soon after we purchased our 4K LG OLED TV, I signed up for Netflix's top-tier premium plan, which offers content at up to 4K resolution. But very quickly, I realized I don't much care about viewing Netflix shows in ultra-high def. Standard 1080p streams look just fine to our eyes. And if I wanted to show off what our fancy new TV can do, well, that's what our 4K Blu-ray discs are for. And so we dropped to the next level down, what Netflix calls the standard plan, and that's $4 cheaper per month, which comes out to $48 cheaper over a year. Those savings add up, and I didn't feel I was missing out on anything by changing plans. And you can go even further on Netflix. If you don't need to stream Netflix on multiple screens at once, and maybe you tend to view most of the service's content on smaller displays like your phone, laptop, or tablet, then the $8.99 basic plan might be worth considering. It's limited to non-HD 480p video, aka standard definition, and you can only watch Netflix on one screen at a time, but if that's all you need, the $8.99 plan would end up saving you $60 a year versus the standard plan, or $108 a year versus that premium option. And you can see on your screen right now some examples of the different pricing tiers available for several services. So make sure you're paying for the pricing plan that most closely matches your actual usage patterns. Another way to save money on your favorite services without cutting them out entirely is by switching to annual payments. Now, not every streaming service offers the option upfront, but if you can manage the large single payment, you can often save a decent amount versus monthly installments. And again, you can see some examples on your screen right now of what a different annual pricing can make versus monthly pricing. In general, it looks like a lot of the services that offer annual pricing offer a discount that amounts to 2 free months of service each year. In other words, you pay an amount equal to 10 months up front, and you get a full 12 months of service. And again, those savings can add up, especially if you have multiple services in your streaming lineup. Oh, and one more thing before we move on to the next section. A bundle offer doesn't necessarily mean it's the best deal for you. You should make sure you'll actually make use of the services and features offered in that bundle. In our own case, we signed up for the Disney Plus bundle that includes Disney Plus, Hulu with ads, and ESPN Plus, and we found ourselves not using ESPN Plus nearly as much as we thought. We crunched the numbers and found that if we switched to just paying for Disney Plus and Hulu with ads on an annual basis, we'd save around $28 per year. And no, $28 a year isn't exactly a huge pile of cash, but it's a savings nonetheless, and we weren't losing any content we'd personally miss. All that is to say, even if a bundle looks tempting, see if other configurations make more sense for your own household. You might be surprised. Be on the lookout for free trials and deals. Now this one might seem obvious too, and the exact deals themselves often come and go at an unpredictable rate, but the concept itself is sound, and you should definitely keep an eye out for deals for services you're interested in. Maybe you want to see what all this Ted Lasso hype is all about, but you can't justify the monthly rate for Apple TV Plus. Well, Apple makes it pretty easy to gain a lengthy free period to check out what the service has on offer. Meanwhile, several mobile carriers offer streaming deals if you sign up for an eligible service. Again, the exact deals can change from time to time, but here in September of 2021, Verizon is offering the Disney Plus bundle with certain unlimited plans. The company also has offers for Discovery Plus, Sling TV, and AMC Plus if you meet certain requirements. And we will, of course, have links to the deals we're talking about included down below in the video description, but if you're watching this on, say, your TV, here's the URL you want to check out. Meanwhile, T-Mobile is currently offering a deal on Netflix access with, again, qualifying plans. And depending on the T-Mobile plan you're signed up for, you'll be eligible for Netflix's basic, standard, or premium options. Again, we'll have that link included down below, and here's the URL on your screen if you want to check it out. Now, to be clear, these streaming deals are tied to signing up for the right phone plan or purchasing an eligible device, so be sure to take a close look at what you're signing up for beforehand. And our earlier advice about bundles also applies here. Make sure the eligible phone plans, device, and bundle streaming services make enough sense for you and your household. There's no sense buying way too big a phone plan just to save a bit on streaming. But if you go in with a realistic sense of what you need, you might be surprised at what's available. Oh, and one more suggestion when it comes to deals. If you're currently a student, keep an eye out for streaming services that offer student discounts. Now you'll need to meet certain eligibility requirements, and those can vary depending on the service in question, but qualified students can gain access to several streamers at significant discounts. For instance, verified students can knock 25% off Paramount Plus's Essential plan, and students can also score an ad-lite plan on Discovery Plus for $2.99 per month. Meanwhile, Hulu's got an ad-supported plan for students at $1.99 per month, which is a 65% discount off the service's usual $5.99 monthly rate. Again, eligibility requirements can differ, but if you're a student right now, it's definitely worth checking to see if you can score some serious discounts on streaming. Don't forget, free options. If you've just cut down on your streaming lineup or you're looking to add more content options without more monthly bills, there's a wide array of free streaming options currently available. Among the biggest names are Pluto TV, IMDb TV, Tubi, Crackle, the Roku channel, and of course YouTube. And we recently outlined several under-the-radar free streaming picks you should check out as well. So if it's been a while since you last tried out free streaming services and you're looking to save some cash, now would be a great time to reintroduce yourself to the category. It's become a pretty competitive field and it's well worth exploring. And speaking of free, don't forget about the tried and true over-the-air antenna. Now this one depends greatly on your specific location and local geography, but if you haven't checked, you might be missing out on free access to potentially dozens of local channels. And if you have tried before but reception wasn't great, try double checking to see if you're using the right antenna for your location. We'll have some useful links included in the video description if you want to investigate. Might be worth looking into. Wrapping it all up. So there you go, those were some of our favorite money-saving tips when it comes to streaming. And as always, thank you for watching. And if you're a fan of lists, here's a quick rundown of the suggestions we went over today. But of course, these are by no means the only way to save money on streaming, which is where you come in. If you've discovered some solid legal ways to save money while streaming, feel free to share them with your fellow cord cutters and streamers in the comment section down below. And hey, we might actually feature your suggestions in a follow-up video in the near future. Again, legal money-saving tips only, please. For now, though, be sure to click on those like and subscribe buttons down below. We'd certainly appreciate it, and it helps YouTube know to suggest our content to more and more people. Until next time, then, my name is Philo Palermo. And again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.